I think having a voice as a young adult means that people are actually going to listen. I think that's the biggest thing. Somebody said it when we're referring to our groups. Somebody said they just want to be heard. That's my biggest thing. I want to be heard. I want to be listened to. I want people to understand me. And this is a great representation of that. We're in a room full of adults and they just actually understand us and actually want to listen and understand what we're saying.
You are watching SGTV, Socially Good Television.
The motto of this is we have a voice too, and I really stand by that because I want people to feel like, I want kids younger than me, like I have little siblings. I want them to feel like they can speak up and their voice matters.
Well, they need to be. They're the future, but what are we leaving them to work with? So they have, some of them are getting ready to vote. What other important voice do you need? But they also need to be educated, and so that's what this is about. They have a voice. We're passing that baton, and they need to be well equipped with the ever-changing society and world that they're in.
I was talking with one of our local politicians here, and they were saying that if the change happens from the top down, it generally doesn't work. But if the change happens from the bottom up, and even better with the youth being invested in change and seeing that they can make change, that'll have exponential effects, positive effects on our community. So I think that's the way to go. I am an educator, but I also am more and more, as I've become involved in community programming, more and more involved in trying to figure out how we can be advocates for youth and how they can be advocates for themselves, and in the end, advocates for our community.
A lot of young people feel like their voices aren't heard by adults. So seeing adults actually listen and take time, even if they don't agree with what we're saying, it still makes me feel good because it's very open-minded and it feels like a principled setting. Being able to communicate with people who are older than you and being able to accept knowledge, because we might act like we know everything, but we really don't. And it's nice to have adults and people who've been through way more speak and tell us, and they get our view because they also don't go to high school, they don't go to middle school. They get to see how we see, and Gen Z is a lot different.
I am here with the IVPL group, the International Visitors Leadership Program that is sponsored by the State Department. We are a group that consists of people from all over the world. I am from Switzerland. We are here to learn about youth inclusion in democratic processes in the United States. It feels so encouraging seeing all the young people from so different backgrounds, such a diverse group, discussing relevant topics as how can we make young people run for office, for example.
The reason why we attended this youth summit today, we are able to interact with youths from within Akron. To hear what their attitudes, their perceptions around issues to do with social justice, governance, education. So really it's more like a learning process for us and also a learning process for them because we are able to share ideas amongst us.
It warms my heart that a lot of the youth right now are trying to be active because at the end of the day, we're the next citizens in trying to lead our respective communities. So it's much better to start at a very, very early age because at the end of the day, we are the next leaders of this society. And sooner or later, the mantle of making the world a better place will be passed down to us.
There are many kids who have not found their voice, and when they don't find their voice, they get lost. And when they get lost, they head down roads that they shouldn't go down. If you don't know who you are, if you don't have your own voice, you don't have the confidence to say yes to the right things and no to the wrong things. You really need a voice to speak up for yourselves and then to speak up for others. Because when you can do that, you've really achieved, I think, a much stronger place in society, and you're helping make it better for all.
For the youth, I would say don't be scared to say what you feel and what you think. Even if you think somebody will not agree with you, which is most likely going to happen, say it no matter what and mean it. For the adults, I would say just be open to your child and just the little kids around you. Let them feel like they can say what they need to say without feeling like what they're saying is wrong.
Well, I think a lot of people say they're scared about using their voice because in some settings they are afraid that there's going to be repercussions for it, and they're afraid that they're going to run into problems later on in the future for using that voice. So as a repercussion, I feel like some kids would go through depression, or they would just feel like they're tuned out by everyone because they don't have that one adult that's able to listen to them.
They are the future leaders. Tomorrow is theirs. If they don't stand up for themselves now, it means someone will make decisions for them, which won't be right for them, which will not help them to develop or grow.
Listen to your youth, but also check yourselves and be a positive role model, because they are watching us. You know, they are emulating what they see us do. So it's a collective venture. So by all means, all of us need to be, on point.
Thank you for watching SGTV. And remember to share this video.